YouTubers. I just wanted to give my experience on owning the Wacom cintiq after about 2 years approximately. I got my cintiq in October of 2014, and I just wanted to go over my experience with you guys. Alright, well, the build quality is superb. It feels quality in your hand. Since then to now, it's a little bit hefty, but I guess that's just the device reassuring that it's in your hand and it's very, very solid. It does not feel cheap at all. It feels like you're carrying around a professional device. I'm using bullet points, so yeah. The battery life, is awesome. Where I live, I have blackouts almost too often, and at some points, I had to rely on my cintiq to charge my phone, and it would actually charge my phone fully twice and over because I would have gotten a full charge from the cintiq when I plugged in my phone, and then I used my phone maybe on Facebook or something that's heavily demanding on data and battery power, and my phone would run down, and I would plug it in again, and the cintiq would fully charge it and still have a little bit remaining for me to do work, because I have done that before. So that's a bit crazy. So the battery life is amazing. It lasts longer than a cell phone from one single charge, and it charges faster than a cell phone. So within less than an hour, your cintiq could have been fully charged, whether you're using it or it's even quicker when it's not in use, or if it's completely turned off and you plug it in to charge. The operating system is a Windows. You will see soon as I let you see the videos behind me talking. It's a Windows operating system, but in my opinion, it's still a great experience. I know a lot of people said that it's a shame that it didn't have a Mac Apple operating system, but to me it runs just fine. It gets all the tasks done, and it's very smooth. I didn't experience any lag with my cintiq because it was a Windows device, and I'm an ambiguous computer user. I use both Mac and PC, and so far I didn't think that they made a mistake when they only allowed this version, the first generation, to use only Windows. So it's a Windows 8.1, I believe. Operation, it handles almost all tasks pretty well. This is not a gaming system, so I would not have put any game on there or something that's demanding, like Crisis or Call of Duty or something. I don't know, I'm not really into games, but I know of some games that are demanding. I wouldn't put those on there, but I'm pretty sure it might be able to handle it at a low resolution and do fairly well, but it wasn't meant for that. So it handles most tasks pretty well. I have open Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, After Effects, and Premiere all at once just to test it, and it handled them decently. You would experience a little bit of not lag, I would say, but you can hear the fan wearing more when you're using it, because it's demanding more from the system. I don't think it was meant to do all that work at once, but it would handle it. It would do it. Based on all that, I can't go for everything in one video, but based on all that, would I recommend buying this over the new version that was released some time ago, that has the front facing speakers and so forth? It depends on your budget, and your budget really. If you can afford it and you want to come over onto this type of device, if you're coming from a desk Intuos Pro and you want to draw onto the screen and you have the money, I would say go for it, because the system, it does not lag at all when it comes to you drawing and making strokes on the screen. It does not. It feels like you're drawing on any medium that you would be drawing on, like paper or anything. Like the nibs, for example. Oh, the nibs as well. They did wear down after a while, but not in the crazy way that some reviewers complained about, especially with the cintiq, the Intuos Pros. It doesn't weigh down like that, not unless you are really scratching into the screen itself. And the screen, it doesn't have those scratches. The scratches doesn't show because it comes with a protective layer on its own, and you can buy the aftermarket one to give it extra protection. But the scratches do not show from you drawing on the screen after a while. And I bought a smudge guard for it, so it doesn't blemish the screen or anything. The salt from a lot of my sweat gets onto it. But yeah, I would recommend buying this if you can't afford the second generation to this. I don't think you need anything bigger. Maybe if anything bigger, it would have more processing power, but this can handle it pretty well. It's very portable. You can rest it anywhere, even though I don't take the risk with that because it's very expensive. But yeah, I would recommend buying this. And someone asked me if they should have bought the Android version to the cintiq companion, and based on my experience, I would say it depends on what you do and what you want it for. I'm a graphic designer, I'm a graphic artist, so I need the full operating power of the softwares which I'm accustomed to using on a full-blown computer to do my work, and this handles it pretty well. And an app on an Android software, I don't think to this date is able to handle the workload that the real or the whole software for Photoshop is meant to handle. So I'm glad that I didn't purchase the Android version. That would have been a big buyer's remorse experience for me, and I wouldn't want you guys to experience that because this device is very, very expensive. I live in the Caribbean, and it cost me about, if I round it off, purchasing it was probably close to 7,000 or 7,000 EC, and then I had to pay to clear it, to ship it here and clear it, and I had issues getting it here, actually trying to use my Scotia card. I had to get someone in the US to buy it for me, ship it to them, and then send it down here for me, and then I gave someone, a family member, the money to send to them. It was complicated, but in the end it was worth it. It was worth it. I made back the money, definitely. So if you're thinking should I buy it, would it make back the money, of course it will make back its money. That's all up to you. My work has improved because of it. I knew it would, because that's the type of device I wanted. I wanted something to be more in tune with what I was doing, because I'm an artist and I didn't wanna. It seemed like when you're drawing on the desk, where you have the Intuos Pro on your desk and you're looking at your computer screen, you're using so much brain power that could have been used to concentrating on one thing, like you're drawing naturally on a paper on the screen, as opposed to trying to concentrate where if my hand is coming off the cintiq, if it's matching up or conforming to the screen and all that stuff. I mean, I guess it's good if you want to test your brain, but at the same time you want to garner all your brain power into focusing directly on what you're doing and not be concentrating on two things at the same time. So pros and cons. The touch, very responsive, superb battery life, very fluid operation, I would say, even up until now. It will get the job done, and I am glad I didn't buy the Android version. The cons, the material starts stripping, and as with anything, after a while it's gonna age. The material starts stripping. It's a fingerprint magnet, and I think the stand could have been a better design. At first I thought it was very flimsy, and only after owning it for a while, maybe like the first the first week, you will get to trust the stand. It feels very fickle at first, but it holds up and it reduces the weight, and I guess that was a design really, but it feels flimsy, and I think the design could have been better, something that would have held the device tighter when you're working on a desk, that you didn't think that if somebody ran across it would just chuck it over, it would stand in place. So the stand, I think, could have been a better design, and it only supports one direction, which is facing up and horizontally, and the device has a rotate feature. So if you wanted to rotate your device as if you're reading, if you're a writer, and you want it to read it vertically, the stand does not adjust for that. It only supports horizontally, and I think that's something that could have been integrated. And the last con is, I think it's very expensive. You really have to give it second thought if you're on a budget, because there are other devices out there. I don't think they are as good, and I wouldn't recommend anything else compared to this unless it's a Wacom, and I trust them. They've never disappointed me. I'm coming from a cintiq, not a cintiq. I'm coming from a graphics tablet, the Intuos 3. Then I skipped to the 5, and then I made a major leap to the cintiq companion, and I do not regret it. I highly recommend you buying this if you can't afford the new generation or any generation to come. It will get the job done, definitely. Alright, that was me talking about my experience. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe for more information. I will leave the links below so you can see some of my work, and yeah, you could follow me and comment on them. If you need any help with anything, let me know. Peace.